Crack it open. Now we're rolling. Damage Plan MMA podcast. I am Jason, back again with Zack. What's cracking?
Just drinking my water.
Just hydrating, baby. Gotta hydrate.
Just drinking all the water I can get down.
How was training today?
It was awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah, we had a good time.
We just got through doing a little fighter spotlight interview with Noah. It's coming up in 2 weeks.
He seems, I like his mindset. I think that's a good fight with him and Desmond. That should be fun.
Should be a great fight. I was impressed with that Desmond kid, the last SteelFist fight.
5 good rounds. Fierce fight, not SteelFist.
Fierce. Yeah, sorry. Fierce. Yes, Fierce. Yeah, he went 5 rounds. Was there a belt on the line for that one?
Yeah, he beat Austin Atkinson at 145. Now he's going down to 135, which is his normal weight. So
okay. All right.
Remember, he was going to fight Cole Foust for the 155 title at one point too. So Desmond's game. But I think Noah is too. Should be a good fight.
Yeah, excited for it, man.
I always like pump the brakes. No knock at all on Desmond. He was great. He looked great. No knock at all.
Yeah.
When somebody trains out of a Krav Maga gym, doesn't it make you go? Speaking of Krav Maga, should we talk about Diego Sanchez's coach more?
Oh my God, dude!
I went down the rabbit hole last night on YouTube. About
I know
Diego
you sent me like 4 videos, 4 or 5 videos.
Dude, anybody's watching. There's only a couple of you right now. That's fine. Message me and ask me because I have the rabbit hole of where Diego went sideways. I figured it out.
It was after his divorce.
And dude, somebody said like maybe he's gay, like with that guy.
All the vibes.
But remember that picture? I was like 3. That makes me super uncomfortable. But if he's gay, and I don't care. I don't care if he's gay. Like whatever. And I'm not trying to like if he's not out or whatever. Like I don't care. It would explain some things.
I don't know. I don't think it's going to explain anything because that dude's a whack
I mean,
job.
about talking about like he was always filing through girlfriends. Seemed like he met a really awesome lady, got married. They got divorced in 2019. I mean, some people just have a rough time. And I mean, for all intents and purposes, everything we've seen about Diego Sanchez, I think he'd be a difficult person to live with. Is that fair to say? He's a little crazy, a little sporadic.
Very fair to say.
I love Diego Sanchez. Diego Sanchez is one of the reasons that I got into MMA because watching Diego Sanchez versus Clay Guida and Diego versus Gilbert Melendez and watching him on season 1 of The Ultimate Fighters. Like he is one of the guys that got me into MMA. So I love Diego Sanchez and I think it's sad. It's very, very sad. And you can't say that the UFC doesn't have some soft spots for some fighters because Dana definitely has a soft spot for Diego. To pay him $211,000 when he didn't have to, if that doesn't say like, I care about this dude, but I'm not willing to let him fight. Like,
it's just a shame that he's letting that guy dictate, like he had a chance to kind of ride out, not necessarily. I didn't see him getting a W, but he at least could have got a nice farewell. Hey, here's your farewell fight in front of the fans. Cause the fans, I mean, you love him. I loved him as a fighter. We loved watching him as a fighter.
He deserved that moment. And the sad thing is I don't think he'll ever understand the reason why he's not getting it has to do with that dude that's manipulating him in his career.
That video with him in there going at it with Paul Felder and Megan Olivier. It's like,
I wanted Paul Felder to get up and smash
I thought he was. Or
the look on Paul Felder's face looked like he was ready.
Like,
who the is that guy?
Almost like Matt Serra in the video where he came up to Matt Serra and Matt Serra's like, I don't even know you,
what your name is.
I don't even know you, dude. I don't care about you.
Say my name. He's like, I'm going to be honest. I don't know your name.
I wouldn't want to get on Matt Serra's bad side. That's just.
Have you seen the video of Matt Serra getting in full mount on a drunk guy that was causing a scene at a restaurant in Vegas?
No.
And Matt Serra takes him down and mounts him. And then is like hands up, not striking him, nothing. And security's like, get off of him. And he's like, I'm good. I'm just controlling the situation. You got him? Like,
yeah.
If you got him, I'll get up. But he just has full mount, no hands, just.
Yeah.
Listen, you.
That's
I love Matt Serra. I love Matt Serra. But it's like, but for those of you who don't know too, I'm going to give you the quick rundown for people who don't know. Diego Sanchez and Cowboy Cerrone were supposed to be the main event.
And that would have been fun
this weekend.
would have been fun.
And
wasn't it Dillashaw? And was it supposed to be Dillashaw and
Dillashaw and Sanhagen? Sorry,
initially,
and then they were the co-main. But they're supposed to give Diego his way out. Well, this guy pulls this stunt at media day, and then since he's retiring, the UFC, and if I'm in the UFC, I'm doing the same thing. It goes, we just want a statement that says that you don't have CTE, because he does say in an interview before the Michael Chiesa fight, quit asking me about brain damage and CTE. I don't have it. I'm fine.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. And so they just asked for a statement saying, you still believe and feel this way. Let us know within 24 hours.
It's fair.
Or else you can't fight this weekend.
Yeah, it's fair.
And he said he talked to his lawyer and this coach, this Josh Fabia or whoever, and was like, and they're like, no, you don't want to make it. Because Josh Fabia, I guarantee his whole plan was get Diego to retire, and then they're going to go and convince the UFC of CTE, go after tens of millions of dollars in damages, and then they could all ride off into the sunset.
Yeah. And
so the UFC does this. This is like what Mark Hunt tried to prove too, right? This is what they dealt with Mark Hunt too, that the UFC knowing that people had damage, brain damage, and they were still putting them in there to compete. And the UFC went and they just said, and when he's like, oh, so you think you might have CTE or brain damage? Yeah. We can't in good conscience let you fight. We're pulling your fight from the card. Sorry. And I mean, is it self-serving for the UFC? Absolutely. 2, does he have brain damage? Absolutely. But it's a big thing to know if Diego's going in there. Like Dana's always said, I'm not going to force somebody to fight. If they don't feel it, they shouldn't fight. If they have brain injury stuff, they shouldn't fight. Like Dana's always said that, but he also knows fighters are going to fight and lie. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, I got knocked out a week before my first fight. And I was like, yeah, sign me up.
You can't put that on the UFC. It's not their fault. Like, how is that their fault?
Yeah. I mean,
if you say you're fine,
but they did their due diligence. They asked the question. If you lie, then that's on you. Right. And that's what they were doing. And all he did, and by letting that manager dictate the way things are, all he did is get an early boot from the UFC, didn't get the gracious moment in the octagon to put his gloves down, have that exit interview and everything, and the way it should. And now he has no opportunity for a lawsuit either at the end of the day. And I'll bet this, if he gets that guy out of his life in one way or another in the next couple of years, I'm sure Dana will bring him back, do a ceremonial like video and all that stuff. That guy's a creep. He's like I said, that whole video. Did you see the video where he's like, I've been in my body longer than most because I'm only 5 foot.
He stopped growing at like 11, and he's like, so I know because I've been in my body longer. What are you talking about, dude?
You've been in your body as long as any other 38-year-old person's been in their body. You crazy.
The sad part about it is people believe that. He's a cult leader, dude. That's what he is. He's a cult leader.
Did I send you the one where they talk about like the monotone lower voice just to like,
it's
so creepy.
It is very creepy. People do that though. It's a legit thing. Crazy, man. Crazy.
I hope Diego turns on him one day.
And just starts smashing him. Yeah. I loved rewatching the video where they're running around the cage with the knife.
Oh my gosh. I asked Aldo that.
Crazy. Guy, what's up, brother?
I asked Aldo today. I was like, when are you going to start training us the way Diego's coach trains him? Start jazzing us with
your hands are knives.
Your hands are knives. Everything's a knife.
Everything's a knife.
Nick is just laughing. The best is Emil gets poked in the back and he flops and dies.
Oh yeah, that dude is weird.
It's so weird, man. So
weird. We are too, Guy. We are definitely hoping he gets rid of that dude too. So we had we'll talk about the UFC, but we got to talk about the SteelFist card because the freaking amazing.
Do we start with UFC or do we start with
let's start with SteelFist, dude.
Okay, so
got to start with SteelFist. First of all, it was great to have a packed house. Not that we didn't have it last time, but the energy in there was just electric, phenomenal. Like it was just before the first fight, and then the first fight you had Elijah Gardner and Jeff Hansen, I think it was.
Good fight,
great fight. You and I both are like, these guys are both 0-0. I think the one guy was 0-2, but still for amateurs, first fight of the night, and these guys were super technical, very good, great fight. Next up, we had your boy, Danny Soriano. That was the guy you fought in your first fight. Danny. Yeah, it says Danny on the.
Dude, he had that fight. I was cheering for him, man.
Against
Danny,
Chow Long Wang.
bro.
Dude, that fight had everything you could imagine. Some of the chokes that he was putting on, I don't know if they're in any jiu-jitsu book, but you might want to put some of them on. he was trying to choke him from weird angles. And
dude, Denny had like this weird, like rear naked bulldog thing with no hooks in, but off to the side kind of, but it looked like it was under his chin and like tight.
If he would have just known enough to sink those hooks in, the fight was over with. Like
here's the thing. Here's the thing with Denny. And I love Denny, and Denny knows I love him. We stayed in contact and in touch since our fight, like 3.5 years ago, right? Denny doesn't train consistently. I think this is the first time he's fought, and he was training with Seppi, who had an incredible performance in his fight. Yeah. And I think he's finally found a gym. I would not be surprised at all to see Denny go on a little bit of a run and have some success. I'd love to see him get into nutrition a little more in check.
Yeah.
I think he makes 185 pretty easy if he can.
I do too. Yeah.
He's such a cool dude. You know, he helps underage youth, troubled youth at like That's a youth center. Like I think he volunteers or works there or whatever. I know it doesn't, but like he's a good dude and he's a cool dude and he'll get it going. That Chalu Wang guy, I don't even know what to think about him. Like it was so wild. I mean, muscles don't win fights, and his muscles didn't win him that fight, but he won the fight.
He won the fight. Yeah, he did enough to win the fight. So crazy. I know that's not my show. Zack and I we're local podcast guys, and we just want to give a shout out to all of our local fighters. So we just try to show support to everybody out there.
Yeah, we support all local MMA.
All local MMA. All MMA just across the country. We don't care. We'll go ahead.
It's pretty fair.
Next up, we had, I don't even remember this fight.
The homeboy, Jemmy.
Yeah.
He trained at the pit with Ramsey.
That's right.
He had the nice rear naked choke. Very nice rear naked choke.
That's right.
Very slick on the ground. Very, very slick on the ground.
This
good fighter though.
The fight after that, this Andrew Mickelson kid and Chris Chu. I don't know anybody tougher than this Chris Chu kid.
He takes that guy. He still never got dropped.
He was still standing.
Good stoppage. Fair stoppage.
Andrew hit that guy with everything with the kitchen. He hit him with the kitchen sink.
Cracked him over and over. And Chu, it was like his knees wouldn't even buckle all the way like they're supposed to. Like he just kind of kept stumbling. He's just like, and he was there and stuff. Like
Andrew just kept throwing the right. Boom, right hand. And not sloppy. He was throwing him straight down the pipe, cracking him right on the chin. And Chu's just like,
he's an EGBAR guy, right? Andrew is an EGBAR guy, I believe.
Go watch out for those guys, man.
And
they got a squad down there.
It's a good fight.
Next up, we had this Chris Anderson and Artis Lyles. Artis Lyles, we just talked to one of he's with Roman too, Roman Isbell.
Okay. Good fight.
But it's a great fight. Great back and forth. Great stand-up, great kicks. Chris seemed to start a little slow in the first round, but started to come alive a little bit in the second and third round. And
Chris we got a little insight. He just got hooked up with that Excite MMA with like Carson Hardman them like 3 weeks before the fight. Right?
That's impressive.
And they try to get him right, but like if he'll stick with it and with Carson, like it's not the most like orthodox style of MMA that Carson does and stuff. But if you notice, Carson's super successful. Homeboy was the 125 champ, that Michael Eastwood, right?
Yep. Eastwood.
He trains with them, like pretty successful. Like you work with Carson, like you put in the work and you work hard. Like they'll get the wins coming. Carson's people could say whatever they want about Carson. His style's different and a little unorthodox, but this is a results-based business. And I don't know if you pay attention, but last time we saw Carson, he freaking flatlined a dude in Atlanta, Georgia. So
yeah, he's about ready to go back and do it again in a few weeks.
And I'll put some money on it. Like
shout out to
Carson knocks him out.
Artis Lyles. That was an impressive first fight performance, man. That he came up. I think he came up from Vegas too.
He did. He did good fight. Very good fight. Good fight.
Next up, we had our boy Kendrick Wolf and Fiji, big Fiji coming in there, getting the W. That was a big when two big boys are banging like that. Yeah. Anything can happen.
Thanks, Kai. Appreciate it, man. Fiji looks good, man. Be really interesting to see what he did against like a grappler. I'd be interested to see what his grappling's like. But man, he looked good. Kendrick had his moments in that fight too. Fiji's big. He's big heavyweight.
He's just a big guy, man.
He moves pretty light on his feet too. I noticed like that. He's good bounce and.
Yeah, Kendrick definitely had his moments. He threw some nice leg kicks in there. He was throwing back and he connected on a couple. It's just Fiji just kind of ate him and walked right through him. I'll be curious to see what who they have for him next, because it sounds like he wants to get right back in the cage.
I bet you he's going to be fighting for SteelFist gold in the near future. I would guess.
Yeah. Next up, we had Fiji's coach, Sepp Pua, against Jeff Munson. Seppi, he looked good, man. His boxing was crisp. They got that new they have a new gym down in Salt Lake City. Is it IMMA?
Yeah.
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was interesting. I was sitting up by my coach, Jordan Smith, during that fight, and he's known Seppi going way back. And he said, Seppi's kickboxing is clean. And dude, that he is not an 0-0. I know his record's 0-0, but he has the skill level of a guy that has a lot of kickboxing fights under him and stuff. And the way he countered, right, he'd block and throw right back. He was very, very clean, very good. Good for Jeff Munson. Came off of a 6-year layoff, wanted to do it one more time. Definitely nothing to hang your head about. Obviously, I'm sure he would have loved to, get a W to have that on his record, and that didn't work out for him. But which is too bad, but yeah, good for him.
Yeah. Now you got that was a pro fight too, though, right?
It was.
That was a pro fight. So that's interesting. Now we got another heavyweight in the mix. You got Sepp, because it sounds like he wants to keep fighting too. So now you got a pro heavyweight in there.
Oh man, I wonder who he fights.
Well, Mr. Matchmaker. There's some names out there.
I have some ideas.
There's some names.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything.
Next up, we had a freaking phenomenal fight with Jordan Ross at what?
Unbiasedly, this was the coolest moment of the night. Other than the personal connection I had with Cole Foust and Cole Schaefer, this was the coolest of the night. Bridget Nielsen's deaf.
That was freaking amazing.
And she wins, and they even let us know, like, hey, she can't hear like the claps and the cheers. So everybody had to do this, the sign language, right?
Yeah. So she couldn't hear the scores. It went to decision, so she couldn't hear the scores.
Yeah. So it was cool.
It was a great fight. She is aggressive. It's funny because I'm sitting here telling you, and I'm like, what is she doing? Did she not warm up? Because she's just standing there. She had a little bit of movement, and she was slipping Jordan's punches.
A little bit. Completely flat-footed and waiting to counter.
And then she countered. Boom, and dropped Jordan. I was like, oh shit, she's warmed up.
Yeah.
And then from that moment on,
it was a lot of fun.
From that moment on, she did not stop. She was just like, what?
She's like a tidal wave, man. She just never stopped.
Crazy. Yeah, that was impressive.
But very cool. Very cool to see that. Very cool.
Sounds like she's going to be coming back here pretty soon in July, which we can't say, but.
Oh, really? Already July, huh?
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
She's badass. Jerome said she's a badass, strong and low. She looked like she was strong.
No kidding.
Next up, we had Sean Pollock and Pablo Gomez. Pollock's wrestling was just too much for Gomez. Gomez was game, but Pollock's wrestling was legit.
It was legit.
Is he the best wrestler in the state? He said he's the best wrestler in the state.
No, he's
185.
Not.
There's a guy.
Open invitation to Sean Pollock. I would love to have you on the podcast. But there's a guy who is
in the main event.
Who is a pro fighter that I think would have a lot to say about who is the best wrestler in the state of Utah.
Hey, impressive first win though. I'll give it to him. Not first win. He's 3-1 now. This is fourth. That was his fourth fight. So
dude, he's good, and he had a good showing, and a school teacher, kind of cool.
That was awesome.
He had his kids and his principal
was there cheering him on. That was freaking dope.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, he's good, man. He's good. Good fighter. Good fighter. I came off of a 4-year layoff. Hopefully he gets a little more active. And dude, that was actually, kind of one of the reasons why I moved down to 170 though, is it was like there wasn't a lot, but there wasn't a lot of guys for me. It felt like at 185. Like I felt like the 185 pool was a little shallow and there were some other opportunities that were a little more exciting at 170. And then I see this card, I'm like, oh dang, there's kind of, that Andrew Mickelson, him, the two guys that fight in the title fight. Like there's some fun 185 fights to make now. Oh, and by the way, Trent, I think is going to be at least be invited to come back to SteelFist soon.
That's another one. Yeah.
He's 3-0 now.
There's some
talk about, if you want to talk about a good title fight, Graham can defend his title against that Trent boy.
Either Graham or put Sean in there. He's 3-1 now.
Yeah.
Throw him up there. Like give it to. Speaking of that, we had Rob Snow and Graham Mcmillan for the 185 amateur year-old belt for the 185 middleweight title. Entertaining fight. Very entertaining fight.
It's hard for me not to have a little bit of sour grapes about this one, but
I thought Rob was Rob kept coming forward. I thought he was going to gas. He didn't seem to gas, but Graham made the adjustments.
They were both pretty gassed.
But Graham made the adjustments that he needed to make. Was a third round. He came out. Fourth round, he came out and just went. He slipped the punch, double leg down, and it was over after that. So smart adjustment from Graham to be able to make that adjustment because I don't think he wasn't winning on his feet.
I felt like Rob was piecing him up, and Rob even said, he goes, "Dang, I thought he was down to stand and bang with me," and he was. But dude, I think you could have argued Graham was down 3 rounds.
Yeah,
he's 2-1.
He was. To me, it seemed like Graham was doing enough to not take any big shots. Like he was taking shots, but it seemed like he was covering up enough that he was not taking huge damage. There were some times that he was definitely hurt.
He covered up a few times. The other thing I noticed, Graham's improved his boxing a lot.
Yeah.
He had these nice combinations that would end with an uppercut, and he threw it a few times, and it was really clean. It was nice. But good for Graham. I know him. He wanted that win a lot for him and his gym. And I know he tried to fight me for forever for whatever reason. And
what'd you do to piss that guy off? He wouldn't even come on the podcast.
You reached out to him?
No, I reached out to Pat and Pat said no.
Pat said he didn't want to come on?
Yeah. Pat said
that's
no.
Fine. You know what? That's fine. And we've never even said a word to each other. If somebody doesn't like me because of whatever, like that's fine. But at the end of the day too, I am trying to fight guys. Like you can't sit there and tell me that I'm ducking somebody when I'm asking to fight a guy that's, like Johan, who is 9-0. And now I'm trying to ask to fight a guy out of my weight class and go down to fight a guy that's 5-0. And that I'm afraid to fight somebody that's 4-3 now. Congratulations, Graham. He could feel like I have the text messages with Pat. I agreed to fight him at one point. I just said I wanted to fight for a belt, and it was Pat that said, "Sorry, Graham can't fight for a belt coming off 2 straight losses."
Yeah,
and so they gave me somebody else. So you could say what he wants. He doesn't like me because he feels like I ducked him.
Yeah,
I'm not ducking anybody. I'm trying to find harder fights and guys with records that match mine a little bit more appropriately. Is that fair? Is that fair to say?
It's fair. Yeah, it's fair. He's the champ now, so maybe
who knows?
Maybe down the road. Maybe down the road. Maybe down the road.
Maybe I'll decide. Maybe I'll fight at 170 and be like, that sucked. I'm gonna hang out at 185, and then he can punch me in the face if he wants to so bad. But it's no secret. Congratulations, Graham.
Congratulations.
And
shout out. Graham.
Happy to your coach for you and your gym and you guys get the recognition and I'm sure you'll have some fun, tough fights defending that belt. Yeah,
he's got some killers.
Be interesting what happens to Rob. Rob also mentioned to me that he might try 205 too.
Rob's a big guy.
It looks like he has to go through a pretty decent sized weight cut. So
yeah, he was pretty lean for that fight. Like I could see him adding on an extra 20 pounds. He's a big dude. He's a big dude.
Big dude.
Next up, we had the co-main event. My fight of the night, hands down. Cole Foust against Joey Lauricella. And we talked about it on the podcast. We had Joey on the podcast. We both thought that this was going to be a tough fight for Cole. Started off that way. Joey was game. He had a game plan. He was sticking to it, and he got caught.
He did just get caught. And I mean, he did. And I mean, I messaged Joey and all the credit and respect in the world. He took the fight. He came in there, tried to take the fight to Cole. He was tough. He was game. Like, he wasn't afraid of him. I know Adam Easley didn't have the showing that he wanted against Cole in the title fight in March. But he even said, like, Joey wasn't intimidated by Cole.
No, not at all.
He didn't have a reason to be. He doesn't know Cole. He doesn't know any. To him, he's a 19-year-old kid that's a good fighter, but he's sitting there going, I'm in my late 20s. This is 19. Like, he doesn't have anything for me. And I'd probably feel the same way too.
Yeah.
This is the first time Cole got to show his fight IQ.
He's never shown his striking before either.
He's never shown his striking before. Well, that's the craziest thing for me but I get to see it every week.
Yeah.
I'm the guy that he's usually punching in the face.
You're the one he's usually dropping.
I'm the one that Cole gets to blast in the face all the time. Thank goodness he got some new gloves. His other ones were so broken down you could feel his knuckles through them. And Cole hits hard. Cole's one of the people that hit me the hardest in the gym, and he's a 155er. And yeah, he's a kid, but he's a freaking man too. He's a little man child. Like, I can't say enough good things about him. I gotta give Joey all the respect in the world, and I do, but he made one mistake.
And Cole capitalized on it.
He made one mistake, and he said it on our podcast. He said, Cole's a pressure fighter and I'm a pressure fighter. So we'll see who wins there. Well, Cole's not just a pressure fighter. He's a great counter striker as well. And when somebody's going to pressure him like that, at least this is what I saw from watching it over and over again, is Cole made a motion to press into him, knowing that Joey would push back.
Yeah.
Cole pushes into him, knowing he pushes back. As he pushes back, he gets too close and closes that range, and that's where that check hook lands clean on his chin. And then a couple hammer fists for good measure. # super necessary. Everybody knew Cole could wrestle. It's no secret. He's a state championship, good jiu-jitsu. Like, everybody knew that. Now you know too. Like, if you want to just stand and bang with him too, it's not a picnic either.
I'd like to see who they're going to get in to come fight this kid now.
I've said it before, and I say this again. I think Johan Rubio has the best resume for amateur fighters in the state of Utah, and I hope to see him enter the pro ranks soon because he's 10-0. I think
9-0, 10-0, yeah,
9-0 or 10-0, something like that. 9-0. His resume and who he's beaten is unparalleled. Yeah, pound for pound, Cole Foust is the best amateur in the state of Utah, I believe.
After Saturday, I agree.
Because he has everything. He doesn't have any holes. And anybody that says that he does, the only holes he'll have is, like, he doesn't have any deficiencies. I mean, there will be times where he might fight somebody that's a better striker, or he might find somebody who's a better grappler or whatever. But he's a mixed martial artist. Like, he doesn't have holes.
Yeah,
he's good everywhere. From the mental aspect, physically takes care of his body, doesn't take any shortcuts. I mean, he doesn't do this huge fluctuation. He's not me either, who gets super out of shape and fat between fights. Like, he's the machine. He's a well-oiled machine. And it sounds like he asked for time off, and it sounds like he'll be joining me on July 31st to defend his belt again. So that'd be fun. I hope to see Joey back too, though, because from what I saw, not trying to play matchmaker, I don't know who it is. I would guess if Julian Ruiz is moving up, I would guess Joey is probably right there for one of the top 155ers in the state now.
Joey's very talented. Like this,
and so I would love to see him fight like somebody like Adam Easley now.
That'd be a good fight.
I think that'd be a really good fight.
I'm super, super impressed with Cole. Fiji, my man. What's up, big man? But yeah, just his fight IQ, you can just see the work that he puts in. This isn't some flash in the pan, like, you know, he's just some amateur guy that's just has a wrestler, and this guy puts in the work. Like,
yeah, and here's the thing: I wish I could share everything. I wish I could share everything about Cole, but I can't, because some things him and his dad have asked me to keep to myself, and then there's just other things just out of respect. It's not my place to share. If Cole wants to share, he can. But if anybody wants to level up, come see if Cole will let you train with him, and then go do whatever else he does. And that's up to him to share, you know, to get ready for these fights. And there's no question why he's just, he's different. He's a special kid. He's special.
Really is. He really is.
Young man.
And we're not just pumping him up because we like him and you train with him, but he's legit, man. He is legit.
One guy looked at me after, and he was one of his sponsors, works for a company that sponsors Cole. And he looked over at me after, and he's like, he's legit, huh? Like, he's the real deal. I'm like, I mean, do I love the kid? I love the kid. Like, he's like, you know, I try and look out for him. I do anything for him. He knows that. I really like the kid. I think but he has so much support, and people want to see him do so well too, because of who he is as a person, not because he's undefeated, not because he's this or, you know, the champ, all this and that. They do it because he's such a good kid. I mean, how many kids put somebody to sleep like that, and all he cared about was he wanted to see his mom and make sure his mom knew he was okay.
Yeah.
Like, right, like in the cage, right then. Like, he kept saying, "Where's my mom? Where's my mom?" Like,
yeah.
I mean, he's I gotta quit calling him a kid. He's a good young man. And yeah, bright future.
Well, there is one other guy in the state.
It turns 20 this week. So shout out Cole. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Cole.
Enjoy your birthday week this week, buddy.
There is one other guy in the state that I would say is right up there, and that's Cole Schaefer in the main event, fighting our boy Eric Munoz. Two good friends of ours. We've had both those guys on the podcast before. Fun fight. I was a great back and forth.
Don't see Cole Schaefer on his back too much. That was interesting.
That was really interesting. I didn't expect to see it either, and he did. Eric got a couple good takedowns in there. Eric was game, man. He took this fight on short notice.
Eric's always game. Like, make no mistake about it. Yeah. Eric Munoz, for those of you who don't know, he's been around a long time, and he's that old school mentality and cut from the cloth of I'll fight anybody, anytime, anywhere. So
big strong. He said guys in Fiji still calling him big strong boy.
You are a big strong boy, Fiji.
Yeah. Oh man.
I ain't trying to spar with you. That's for sure.
But yeah, Schaefer, man.
He's another Cole, right? We're just going to start calling him the SteelFist Coles.
The Coles.
Because what's crazy is Cole Schaefer, before everybody just thought he was a wrestler.
Yeah.
And I didn't watch him too much when he got into MMA because I wasn't really following it then. But, like, you know, what do you do? What do wrestlers do? You can't make money wrestling after college. So,
yeah.
But I mean, his boxing and his hands and everything, you know, Nod, like he's so, we've been just watching him level up over the past few years. It's insane. I mean, I've been in a corner against him for a fight, and he was good then, and he's even better now. And Cole Foust is the same way, but Cole Schaefer's the same of, he does everything right. He doesn't cut any corners. He puts in the work. He takes it serious. He does everything. The people that aren't successful in the sport and can't figure out why, it's because they're missing a lot of the discipline stuff that Cole Schaefer and Cole Foust have. It's a discipline thing, right?
I don't know what these other fighters on here are doing as far as their training, but I know for a fact these two guys, they do it year round. They live it. Yeah. They breathe it. They live, breathe training, nutrition, recovery. And this isn't taken away from anybody else out there that I'm not forgetting. I just know these two guys personally, and I know the work that both of these guys put in, and it shows. It shows in the cage when they come in the cage.
Every time.
I was telling Sheree.
And even on some of Cole Schaefer's losses, you could tell he's prepared. Like,
oh yeah.
It's not a win-lose thing. It's a you could tell who does it the right way and who's trying to take shortcuts.
Sheree hadn't seen him fight. I think the first fight we saw him was when he fought Cavender, and we didn't really know him then. We didn't really know Cavender then either, but she missed the last one that he fought at. So this one, I'm like, is Cole not the scariest dude? Like, just look at his face when he walks out. Like, he is all business, man. Like, that guy is, that guy is the Viking for a reason.
You should stand across from him sparring sometime.
No, I don't want to, Zach. I don't.
You should.
No.
Cole Schaefer, let's get Jason down.
And I like my face and my legs and
we'll all spar.
Oh man, that's not cool, Zach.
Hey, forget Cole. Have you seen his coach? Denard's the scariest person I've ever seen.
Well, yeah, Denard is pretty scary.
Too.
I used to see him at 24 Hour Fitness in Taylorsville, and I'd see him walking. I'm like, I would not mess with that guy. Like, there's just certain guys you just walk by and you look at and you're like, that guy could hurt somebody. Like, he could do he looks like he's part of the freaking Russian mob or something. Scary freaking guy. Anyways, shout out to Kevin and Pat, man. That was a freaking phenomenal card. Very good. Very good. And
the June card's going to be fire.
Oh, yeah, because I think we've heard of there's a few matchups we already know about.
We can't break news though.
No, we can't break the news yet, but I do know there's some good stuff coming. I know of a couple. We know of a couple fights coming up in June and July, possibly, that are going to be, let's just say, fireworks. I love doing these podcasts because we get all the kinds of great
July
information.
31st is going to be awesome.
What's going on July 31st?
Meat.
If you freaking make 170 and not eat cheeseburgers.
I haven't had a cheeseburger.
Did you have a cheeseburger at the fights?
I did it. The restaurant shut down.
It was me eating the cheeseburgers.
It was just you. I had 3 of your fries. Back off.
I got to carb up, dude. I'm in this fight camp.
I got to carb up. I'm in a real fight camp.
Dude, Fiji, we need to get you a fight for Zoo. You know, I know you've been talking to my boy Handsome down there in Orem. You two need to get together and do a little work because that'd be a good matchup.
Jeez Louise.
I know they've been talking. They've been talking. I know they've been talking.
They?
Yeah, I know they've been talking about getting a little training in together. But size-wise, yeah. Woo, that'd be good. Anyways, well, I guess we could talk a little bit about the UFC since neither one of them really got to watch it. I did watch the main event. We'll go through it real quick. Felipe Corrales and Luke Saunders was the first fight of the night. Boom. Holler at your boy. Okay, it was a lucky guess. It was such a lucky guess. It was such a lucky guess.
Stop that.
Oh, that went to a decision. Then we had Andres the Spartan against KB Bueller.
I nailed that. That was pure domination. I said that would. Dude, KB Bueller's not UFC material. Sorry.
We were spot on that one. We had Loma against Sam Hughes. Loma. Luke Boone, Sam Hughes. Man, she's got 2 tough fights in her UFC debuts. Like they're not showing that girl any love.
Brutal.
Any love. So we had the first 3 right, and then we missed this one. We had
Luana I had TJ Brown.
No, Carolina. Carolina beat Pauliana Botello.
Oh, that one. Yeah, that was some bull.
It was a split decision. All right.
Come on.
Whatever. TJ Brown, we nailed. That was one of our bets. It was one of my bets.
Some people said that was a controversial.
They did. I didn't see the fight. I didn't watch the fight, but I'm going to take I saw what Garrett said and what he posted, and I respect
about this for a second. I'll be right back.
I respect what Garrett says, and Garrett says it could have went either way, and it was a coin flip. So Garrett, I'm going to go with what you say because I know you know your stuff. And TJ Brown ended up getting the win, and my bank account is happy. So I was thrilled, but I do need to go back and rewatch that fight. Luke, you getting on that June card? If you're still watching this, Fiji, let me know if you're getting on this card. Next up, we had Luana Pinero against Random Marcos. This was the one that the illegal up kick, which I didn't see in person. I just saw the aftermath. What did you think, Zach? Did you get to see that in person? The Random Marcos?
Yeah.
What did you think?
She up kicked her and knocked her out. That was an illegal kick. She was on her knees.
Okay. I see a lot of people on social media saying she's acting and this and that. And it got me
get kicked.
Exactly. Here's what I was thinking. Half of these people, 90% of these people haven't even ever been in the fight before. And they're over there commenting about somebody.
99%.
Like, look, I haven't fought. So for me to try to tell somebody that they're acting in the cage, no, you need to slap me upside the head if I ever do that, which I never will. Because I have more respect for these guys that get in there and do that than that. But dude, look, she got kicked. She wasn't expecting it. And she got kicked. Say what you want. It is what it is.
Brandon Marcos was trying to get away, and that's fine too. Like,
yeah, I don't think
it was dirty or intentional.
No, I don't either. It's
but
just,
if you can't do, here's the other thing you got to understand: it's a fight, but it's a business and it's a sport, and this is how people feed their families.
Yeah. If
you get illegally kicked and you feel compromised going forward, you shouldn't fight.
I don't blame him.
What? I also don't want to see him sell it either, and pretend like they're dying when they're not.
I mean, okay, let's, from a fighter's perspective, because you're a fighter, how many fighters do you know are looking for that way out? I mean, I guess if they're getting beat, but just initially, because wasn't she winning? Was she winning the fight up to that point? Or was she, it was pretty early, right?
A couple minutes into round one. I mean, round one was almost over.
It was a minute into round one, so you couldn't really even say she was losing. Do you really think she was looking for a way out as a fighter?
No.
Would you be looking for a way out of that? Like, I just don't think you go through that camp and all that stuff to just say.
So there are fighters, we'll just say on the local scene, because that's what I'm the most familiar with. There are fighters that I would be like, yep, they would take the easy way out. And then there's some that's like, no way, right? Cole Schaefer, for example. He'll never take the easy way out in some things. I'm not going to call out people, but and he might be even one of the ones that is crazy enough that even though he's compromised, he'd continue fighting because that's just who he is.
Yeah.
There are some fighters though, and I'm not going to call them out or say them by name, that I'd be like, yeah, he'd take the easy way out. No problem.
But on an amateur scene though, but you get to that level, a pro level, you're in the UFC. I don't know. Maybe I just see it wrong, but I don't see anybody saying, I'm just going to take the easy way out. I just don't see it happening. So I think there's
fighters in the UFC that would do it. They do.
Well, they're not going to make it very far if they do, I don't think, but just my opinion. Next up, we called this one wrong, but I'm not hating it. Merab and Cody Stamen.
Well, we didn't get to see the fight, but I saw a lot of people saying
I watched it.
I heard a lot of people say that was the best that Merab's ever looked.
He did phenomenal.
And part of the reason why I picked Cody Stamen is I thought Merab would look maybe a little below par, not being able to train at his camp. So following my logic, I am not that mad.
Yeah.
Correct, Fiji. But I'm not as mad because I just made a wrong read on where they were at their camps.
Yeah, no, I don't hate our pick at all. But Merab, dude, I did watch that fight because that's when I watched the main card and he looked good, man. I mean, Cody's tough. I don't see any one of those guys going anywhere. And I think this just put Merab is on the radar now. He's going to get a bigger name for his next fight, I think.
Yeah.
And with that wrestling,
he's going to have to talk again because now the bathroom's open and somebody was in it before.
Oh, Zack. Usually I'm the one going to pee and Zach's the one going to pee now. It's killing me. Come on, Zack. All right. So, anyways, Merab looked phenomenal. His wrestling's phenomenal. I'd be curious to see who he gets next because this puts him, I don't think these ratings are updated. He was 12. He's got to be getting in the top 10. Give him what do you guys think? Give him a Pedro Munoz or Frankie Edgar and Merab Dvalishvili. I like that. I think he beats Marlon. Maybe even a Dominic Cruz would be good. There's some fights out there, but he's definitely cracking into this top 10 after that one. Anyways, good showing. Boy, Cody Stamen. Next up, we got. Let me get back to my. Frankie, I was just saying who Merab.
So much better.
Who Merab should fight next, and I mentioned Frankie Edgar.
All that.
Because he's got it.
He's got taking Frankie down over and over.
Yeah, Frankie. Maybe even a Pedro Munoz, Dominic Cruz. All these guys are in the top 10.
I love Pedro Munoz. Can we get Frankie Edgar and Dominic Cruz? Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah.
Have they fought recently?
I don't think so. Yeah, they both just fought. Frankie got knocked out, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then Cruz just fought too, didn't he? Didn't he beat
Casey Kenny.
Casey Kenny? Yeah. Anyways, all right. So next up we have, who was next up on this fight? Sean Strickland and Christophe Jacko. We called that. We knew that. Sean Strickland. Pretty much.
I'm surprised he didn't get the knockout, kind of. But you know, Jacko's tough too, so it's cool.
Ian Cutelaba and Dustin Jacoby fought too.
What happened?
You know,
you watched it. What happened?
I honestly thought Cutelaba won watching it. I thought he landed more. I thought he landed the cleaner shots. I thought he was doing more, but I don't hate it. How
did we get a draw? Did somebody get a point taken away, or is there a 10-8?
No. They had the first round went to Cutelaba was for sure. And I think some people were even saying 10-8. Let me see.
Maybe that's why. Maybe he got a 10-8 and then Jacoby won the next two. That's the only way you get a draw.
I don't think
it's a 10-8 round unless a point was taken away at some point.
Here, let's look at it. So one judge had it 29-28 for Jacoby. Tony Weeks had it 28-28. So he did give Cutelaba the 10-8 round. And then Ricky Winter had it 29-28 for Cutelaba.
So, see, one judge had a 10-8 round.
So they had Jacoby. Tony Weeks had Jacoby winning rounds 2 and 3 to give him the draw, which I don't know. Who am I?
Weird. I'm going to go watch that now. It's interesting. Cutelaba has the tools.
He does have the tools.
He has the tools to be very competitive at 205. The problem is I feel like he lacks a little bit of discipline, as he showed in the weigh-ins. Like his emotions get the better of him. But I'm a fan of him and his fighting style because he's a berserker and anything can happen. He's a bigger Mike Perry.
Yeah, he really is.
He's a berserker. I enjoy watching him fight. I'm gonna go watch that fight.
Yeah, it was good. It was a fun fight. It was a great back and forth fight. If I was judging, I probably would have gave a slight lean to Cutelaba.
Well, then let's run it back.
Next up, co-main event was Giga Chikaze and Cub Swanson. When are you going to start listening to me, Zach?
Oh, you stop it. You stop it now.
That liver kick is nasty.
Yeah,
nasty liver kick.
I saw that. And yeah, it's fair.
So shout out to Giga.
That's a big win for him. That's a huge win for him.
Did you see who he was possibly talking about fighting next?
Who?
Max Holloway.
That's a horrible fight for him.
I don't think it is.
I think it is.
Line it up.
Gosh, he gets murdered by Max.
I don't think he does.
Dude, Jason.
I don't think he does.
Jason. Hear
me out. I just don't think he does. Where's Holloway at?
You just said, hear me out. And then all you said after that was, I just don't think he does.
I just don't. Okay. He needs another fight. He's not going to get Holloway right away.
No,
but he needs somebody in the top 10.
Okay. We can have that conversation, but don't tell me he needs to fight the featherweight GOAT.
Okay. So who's Ige got next? He's got Sung Jung next. Is that who he's got?
Korean Zombie. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got Korean Zombie next. So give him like an Arnold Allen or a Josh.
Absolutely.
Emmett. Give him one of those guys.
Great. Yeah. Dude, Josh Emmett and him is fireworks.
Yeah. He needs a top 10 guy next. All right. We're going to jam through this last one. Yuri Prozaca and Dominic Reyes. What a knockout, dude. That's spinning elbow. Dude, I don't know what Yuri, I don't know if he takes some pre-workout or what he does before he comes in. That guy can eat some shots. The Cho kid that we were talking about,
yeah,
that from the SteelFist fight that can eat shots, that was Yuri eating Reyes because Reyes was countering. Did you watch it? You didn't watch it, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Dude, Reyes wasn't fighting.
Doing bad. Wasn't doing bad.
Yuri's shots were definitely the harder. Yeah,
different.
They were busting
like Usman and Colby Covington.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking when I was watching it. Yep. Dude, Yuri he's a problem, dude. He's a problem. Do you think he beats Jan?
I do. I actually do.
Do you think he gets the next title shot, or should he fight Rakic first.
I think he beats Rakic.
Give him the shot.
I
think he beats Rakic too.
If I'm Yuri, I'm chilling. If I'm Yuri, I'm chilling to fight the winner of Glover and Jan. Because I think he's earned it. He's shown it in 2 fights. He has the record. He has the name. I know a lot of his resume was built in Ryzen, but he's come in and
he's the final boss, Fiji says.
Yeah, I mean he's the best. He is. His frame is terrifying for 205 to me. Like with how long and athletic he is and how well he moves and the dexterity that he has with both arms and all of his weapons. He uses all of his weapons incredibly well. He's not as athletic as John.
Yeah.
But I would actually, from what I've seen, I'd take him against John Jones.
I would too.
At right 205. Now? At 205, yeah. And where John has shown, I mean, John has the ability, right, to rise to his, but I personally believe John knew it was only a matter of time before one of these up and comers got him. Right? Reyes gave him a heck of a fight. Ciantos gave him a heck of a fight. Like it was only a matter because nobody fights forever and stays on the top forever. Even Khabib, he said it himself. If I fight long enough, eventually I'll lose. Right?
Do you think?
So I think Yuri could have been. I really think Yuri could have been the guy. I'm not saying John is ducking Yuri or did it. I just think he knew that eventually somebody would get him, and I think Yuri could have been that guy.
So,
but to be fair, I thought Dominic Reyes could have been that guy too.
Fiji brought up a good point. The Reyes and Santos have the John Jones curse. You notice Reyes is 0-2, now 0-3. Well, 0-2 since he lost to Jones, but now he's on a 3-fight skid. Santos 0-2. Anthony Smith actually has got a little bit of turned it back around. He's 3-2 now and looked impressed. He's only 31, 32 years old. He's getting better.
He's got 51 fights at 32 or 34 years old or something like that.
And then Gustafson's 0-2. So,
well, okay. So if you remember Friday, I broke this down a little bit. I think number one contenders that go and challenge for the champ and have good competitive fights against the champ, I think it lulls them into a sense of security. I feel like Dominic Reyes, maybe even Thiago Santos was like, I was this close to beating the best ever. I don't have to do anything different.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Yep.
I'm there. Right. And they build this narrative in their head of, I almost beat the best ever. Like I'm there. And it almost suffices their hunger a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it happened to Kelvin. He had that war with Izzy.
Too. Yeah.
He had that war with Izzy, right? And it gives him this like, well, if I can do that to Izzy and he's smoking everybody after me, I'm there, right? It doesn't make him go. If he gets knocked out, you don't go, where do I need to get better?
Yeah.
Do I need, you know what I mean?
I know
he doesn't, if he gets knocked out in the second round by Izzy, maybe he goes, you know what? Maybe I can't hang out with these 185ers. Maybe I do need to go to welterweight.
Yeah.
He's going, no, dude, I was right there. We were going into the 5th round and it was 2-2.
Yeah.
I just have to win one more round and I beat this guy.
Yep.
And it lulls you, and we've seen Kelvin's had a rough run of it since. But Whitaker, right? He gets knocked out by John or by Izzy, and then look at the tear that he goes on after and how amazing he has looked in his last 3 fights since fighting Izzy. Right? You get starched by a guy, you have to go back to the drawing board and fix stuff. You lose a close fight, a razor thin fight. I think there's a little bit of a I'm doing all the right thing. I'm there. I'm right there. I just need it to be my night.
I could see that. You kind of have to have that mentality. Well, I'm going to give you a good example of a local guy, Cole Foust, when he won the 155-pound belt last month. What did he do? Turn around and said, this isn't my belt. I got to earn it again next month.
His dad took it from him, actually.
Yeah. Well, he said it on the mic. He said, I this isn't mine. Like, I gotta earn it again. Like, so he's keeping that hunger, keeping that fire. Mindset.
Right. Yeah. And so these guys are coming off these losses to these, I mean, I don't think it's too early to say that Izzy's going to be a surefire Hall of Famer. John Jones is probably going to go down when he retires as the greatest mixed martial artist in the cage of all time. These guys are right there, and they have these performances right there with him. Dominic Reyes, dude, that was his fight to win. And
it was.
He kind of dropped the ball, but You know, he's right there. He lost by 1 round to the greatest ever. And you get a sense of, and I mean, he's not losing to punks. That's the other thing too, right? Once you're at the top, now you're fighting to stay at the top, and you're fighting all the other hungry lions coming up. And that is a hard place to hang out, which is what makes Max Holloway so great.
Yeah.
It's right. He's right there. And then Calvin Kattar is the hungry lion trying to come up to knock him out. And he puts out possibly his greatest performance ever.
Yeah. It's impressive, man.
It's a balancing act. And I just think that's where Reyes turn it around? Absolutely. He was undefeated before he fought John. What is he still, like 14-3 or something like that now?
Yeah. I think he's 12-3.
12-3. 12-3. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, he fights he'd go down and fight Anthony Smith, maybe coming back up. Something like that. He gets another win against one of those guys. He's okay. Now he's right back up. Yeah. Right back in the mix. He's still one win away from being in the mix.
Yeah. I mean, it's not, you can't hang your head. I mean, he's lost to Yuri, who's probably going to be the champ, loses to the champ, and then loses to the champ before that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I mean, like
when you're at that high of a level, it's like, well, hopefully he keeps it together up here and can keep pushing forward, because the guy definitely has the talent.
I think I hate to say this about Reyes, and you know, we're whatever, but I'd like to see him get in a better gym.
Where's he training at?
Dominic Reyes. He trains with his brothers a lot.
Oh yeah.
Remember he had that fight where his brothers like were in his corner and stuff. I mean, he trains with Joe Daddy Stevenson and, you know, and some of those guys, but like, I'd love to, he's fighting out of California. Like, I'd love for him to go to like ATK.
Fiji says Jan stops him. We'll have you back on the podcast when they make that.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
We'll chat about that.
I think it's a great fight. He
better keep his hands up against Jan, because he's going to eat some of that Polish power. He might go night. All right, man. Well,
interesting.
Let's wrap it up, and we'll be back Wednesday. We got 2 fighters. Ooh, we might only have one, because I'll have to contact Destiny, because she's not fighting.
Oh, she's not?
No. She had an injury she was dealing with and ended up having to pull out, but I don't know if she still wants to come on. We have her on. If not, okay. We're working on a couple other guys. For sure. All right. Well, let's wrap it up.
Sounds good.
Right on, man. All right. We will see you guys Wednesday. Fighter Spotlights. I'll be posting what time we'll be on. Thanks guys for tuning in. Appreciate it. We out.